The Navy was in on the opening salvos of this war, launching hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles against strategic targets in and around Baghdad. F-14 fighters helped provide protection from Iraqi planes, while hundreds of A-6 and F-18 aircraft launched from carrier decks to make precision strikes on targets ranging from tanks to patrol boats. And surface ships like the Nicholas and the Kurtz, patrolling deep in the Gulf to pick up downed Allied airmen, also took out oil platforms and Iraqi patrol boats and captured the first prisoners of war. But now that the U.S. has air supremacy, the Iraqi Navy has apparently been wiped out, and an Allied ground assault appears inevitable, the role of the Navy is taking on an added dimension. Already, the battleship Missouri has shelled targets in Kuwait with its 16-inch guns, and it is expected to be joined soon by the Wisconsin. Both are capable of lobbing projectiles weighing nearly 3,000 pounds more than 25 miles with deadly accuracy. Both battleships also have 5-inch guns that can shell targets ashore, as do the cruisers and many of the smaller ships operating in the Persian Gulf. As ground combat action spreads, more surface ships like destroyers and frigates will be used to soften up ground targets and provide combat support. Amphibious assault ships carrying U.S. Marines have not been heard from since a couple of practice landings before the war started, but any ground combat action would likely include a landing by the Marines they carry. There are 3 aircraft carriers operating in the Gulf and 3 in the Red Sea. Their mission would remain much the same, but as more and more of the Iraqi infrastructure is knocked down, their targets could be shifted to include close air support for Allied ground forces.
Assault are underway. F-16s that had been involved in massive bombing are now being fitted with Maverick missiles designed to support ground forces.
I hope it helps the ground troops up front so they don't have so much battle to do. And it also tells me that a few days down the road, they're going to be moving.
The Maverick is a precision-guided missile used to attack small individual targets like tanks and artillery pieces. The pilots here say it is the weapon of choice to be used once the massive bombing begins to wind down. Returning pilots say the Maverick is needed because after 3 weeks of bombing, there are fewer targets left.
They're dispersing more and more, and I think that's because of the damage that's been done to them. They're getting harder and harder to find. However, we're doing a better and better job of finding them.
The Air Force says Mavericks kill targets more than 80% of the time. Returning pilots are impressed. These planes are concentrating on Iraq's elite troops, the Republican Guard. Pilots report a devastating impact.
Went up there this morning and we looked around, and within a 15 to 20 mile radius there were bombs exploding, you know, every minute or so.
It looks pretty devastating, a lot like looking at the surface of the moon. There's a lot of damage obviously has been done to them up there, and I'd imagine by now they're really taking some real hard hits.
The Mavericks will be used to zero in on the armor facing the Allied invasion force. This is likely to be the beginning of the last phase of the air war, designed to pave the way into Kuwait. Scott Pelley with the 157th Tactical Fighter Wing, Central Saudi Arabia.